All right, so let's discuss everything that you see on the screen so you won't be confused or overwhelmed when you're looking at these charts. Let's break everything down. The most important thing that you need to know as far as what's on this chart are the candlesticks. The candles are the green and the red bars that you see going around, going across the screen. That just represents the price of whatever currency pair that you're looking at, the current price. So like right now we're on this candle right here. It started off as a red candle, and you see over here we've got the price highlighted in white, and notice that last number continues to change. As this moves, the price is going to move. So wherever the candle is, it correlates with the price of the currency pair that we're on. So there's a few things you need to know as far as how the candles are made, how long the candle lasts. So let's talk about that. How do we know when a new candle is going to form? Well, that depends on what time frame you're on, which takes me to this part of the chart up here. Focus on these squares up here. Right now, I'm on the H1 time frame. That represents 1 hour. So each candle is 1 hour of price movement. Right now, it's 3 o'clock or 3:10. So a new candle is not going to form until 4 o'clock because I'm on the 1 hour time frame. If I go to this one, the M1, that's 1 minute, it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day, 1 week, and 1 month. So I'm going to go back to the 1 minute chart actually for the remainder of this example, but just keep in mind whatever time frame you're on, and now you know what these buttons are. Whatever time frame you're on, that's how long a candle lasts. Now, as far as how we get the red candles or the green candles, and how do we get these wicks, those skinny black lines, those are called wicks. So you've got the candle body, that's the green and the red, and you've got the wick, that's the skinny black line. Let me zoom in a little bit to give a better visual. So looking right here, the candle body is going to start the candle's going to start forming as soon as the minute changes over. Now, right now, the minute changed and price started falling. And when price is falling, we're going to get a red candle. Now, if this candle starts to go up like it just did, it leaves a wick, letting you know that at some point, price was down here during that 1 minute. So now price is falling again. So it's covered all that red again. If it goes above its starting point for that minute, then the candle would be green. So now our new minute just started. If it goes up from where the minute started, from where price is at the beginning of the minute, it'll be green. If it goes down from where price started at the beginning of the minute, it'll be red. And then once again, wherever like these wicks, it just means price was there at some point during that minute. I'm trying to think of find a good candle. So like, let's look at this one right here. Okay. Never mind. We can look at the one that just happened. So it was red for a second. It went all the way down here, but then it came up some. So it left a wick. Once again, just letting us know, hey, I was here at some point. And if it goes above its starting point, it's going to turn green. I'm really wanting it to turn green so I can show you that. Okay, here we go. Keep on going up, turn green. Doggone it. There we go. But anyway, you get the point. But anyway, those are the candles. That's what how you get the candle body and the wick. Hopefully that makes some sense. Now let me go back to the H1 chart just because that's what I usually keep it on. Going through the rest of this stuff up here real quick. I'll work from left to right. This button right here is the market watch. If you click that button, that's what makes your currency pairs pull up. So if you want to look at a certain currency pair that you don't have pulled up already, you can go in here, right click on any of these and open the chart window, and it will open a new thing. If you have a pair down here that you don't want, you can either click this X up here to get rid of it, or you can right click and close it. And that's not a pair I trade, so I'm getting out of that. But that's what that button is. Now for this button, this is the navigator. The only thing I actually use this for is something I don't have on this particular account. I use a trade copier. And if I do use a trade copier, it's going to be under the expert advisor section. But a trade copier, honestly, you're not, if you're watching this video, then you're too new to worry about a trade copier at this point. So I actually I'm not even going to confuse you with what that is. This right here is going to show, this button is really important, the terminal. This is the white notebook looking button. When you push that, it's going to make this stuff down here show up where you can see your balance, your equity, your free margin. The free margin, I kind of don't know how to explain that. It ain't never hurt me to know what it is, but that's one of them things where I know it has something to do with how much you have left to risk, but balance and equity are really what you want to know. Your balance is your current balance. Obviously, $1,000 is what we have in our demo account. Your equity is, if I were to open a trade right now, which actually I'll go ahead and show you how to do that, so we can just show you how to open a trade. Which reminds me, the first thing you're going to need to do to open a trade is open up tools, options, and check this one-click trading box and then accept the terms. Okay, and okay. Then I'm going to hit this arrow right here, and it's going to open up my sell and my buy option. Now I'm actually going to change this. This is where I put my lot size. Right now it has 1.00, which represents $10 per pip, or roughly $10 per pip, depending on what pair I'm trading. But for all intents and purposes, it's $10 per pip. You basically multiply whatever's in here by 10, and that's your actual risk per pip. So, you know what, since it's a demo account, I'll just leave it right there just to show the example. I'm going to go down to the 15-minute time frame, and I'm just going to open the trade. I'm going to open up a sell. All right. I click my sell. You see the white line popped up right here, and then you see my equity is now $9.85. Reason being, there's a couple of things I have to do. I have to pay a little bit of commission. So when I open up a trade, I have to pay commission on it. Depending on how big of a lot size I use, my commission can be more or less. So $7 just happens to be the commission amount for if you want to do $10 per pip. If I want to change this to 10 cents per pip, which means I need to put what looks like a penny in here. But remember, we got to multiply that lot size by 10, and then that's your actual risk. So this is actually 10 cents per pip. And let's say I put in a sale on that. Well, you see my commission on that is 7 cents. So not bad, but that commit. So basically, when you first open a trade, you're always going to be immediately in what's called drawdown, or you're going to be immediately in a loss. But your balance right now, until I close this trade, my balance is $1,000. However, my equity shows my active balance. This is showing me, you know, if I'm losing money right now, if I get out the trade right now, this is what I would have left in my account. You know, hopefully it'll go, well, this is a demo account, so I don't care. But if it goes down, then it'll show profit. So my equity would be higher than my current balance. So if I get out, then I know I would be getting out in profit. So that's how that works. Now, as far as how to get out of a trade, all you have to do is click on the X that's right next to the trade. So I should be minus 4 cents if I get out now, or minus 5. Oh, that's right. It was minus 5 plus the commission. So it was 7 cents commission plus 5 cents on the actual loss. So I lost a total of 12 cents, which is why I now have $9.99 and 88 cents left. The other thing that's important to know when you put a trade in is how to place what's called a stop loss. Now I put a sell in, so I'm gonna click and hold this, and I'm just gonna drag up. Now this red line that I just drug up, that's a stop loss. What this is it means that if price were to go, because since I entered a sell, I want price to go down. That means I'm gonna make money. But if it goes up, then I'm going to lose money the farther it goes up. Now my stop loss is gonna let me put a cap on how much I risk on the trade. So right now, if I just hover my mouse over it, it shows if price goes up this high and it hits my red line, I'm going to lose $186. So it's like, I don't want to lose $186. So let me drag that down a little further. Well, now I would lose $103. If it goes up here, I might lose about $84, so on and so forth. And I can do the same thing if I want to set an automatic take profit. I can drag the line down and say, okay, well, if price ends up coming down this far, I would make on this trade, I would make, here we go, $360 if price comes down that far. But again, if you don't want to wait on price to come down and hit your take profit or go up and hit your stop loss, you want to get out when you feel like it. You just don't want to hold the trade anymore. Once again, just hit the X and exit out the trade manually, and that's fine. But the main thing to keep in mind is that you always want to place a stop loss on your trade because you want to manage your risk. The first part of managing your risk is making sure you choose the proper lot size for your account. And then remember, whatever you put here, multiply it by 10. So let's just say, for example, if I wanted to lose, if I got $1,000 and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to lose $20 on this trade. Then a smart lot size for me to use might be something like $1. Remember, multiply it by 10. This is $1 per pip, roughly. So this would allow me some room for the market to move. If I put in $1 a pip, then I could let the market move maybe about 20 pips or so, which will be about that far up. And the reason I know that far up is because when I'm moving this, if you look over to the left side, as I move it up and down, you see how it has negative 20. Well, here we go. It looks like negative 205 pips. That actually means negative 20.5. That's 20.5 pips. I'm going to go ahead and just exit out this trade because, again, this is a demo account. I don't care about losing the money on it. And I'm going to, now all this stuff, the only other thing you would need over here as far as I'm concerned is the account history as far as down here. And your account history just allows you to see every trade that you've taken, how much you made or lost on that trade, and it'll give you your overall profit and loss number right here. And I'm gonna go back to trade. I'm gonna close out of that. Auto trading, that has to do with that trade copier that I told you about. Like, if you're watching this video, you don't even need to worry about that at this point, but I'm just leaving that there because I'll leave it on my chart. This, I actually thought I took that off. I don't need this. This button and this button, that changes the way that you see the chart. I like it on Candlesticks. I'm actually going to take those other ones off because I don't use them, and I meant to do that last time. So the bar chart can go, that line chart can go, actually chart shift can go. I don't know how I forgot to do that. Oh snap, and I forgot to put up the other thing, but I'll do that in a minute. So I just deleted a few more things that, I don't need. But the reason I deleted those other two is because I only view the chart as candles, or candlesticks. So that's that. This is a zoom in and out button. Zoom in, it makes the candles bigger. Zoom out, it makes them smaller. You can see more of the chart. I recommend having this zoomed in specifically about as much where you can see a couple of days, about 5 days at least worth of full candle price. If you hit Control Y on your computer, that's going to open up what's called Daybreakers. And each of these, this is 1 day between each line. That's a day worth of price movement because I'm on the 1 hour chart, and that would be 24 candles in each day. So, but you want to be able to see at least 5 or 6 full days worth of price. You don't, and now if I zoom in, for example, I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And that's only zooming in once. That means I'm zoomed in too close. It is very important to be able to see at least 5 full days. Okay. I don't want to see a whole bunch either. So this right here is like the perfect zoom amount for as far as how many candles you want to be able to see. Okay. So that's as far as the zooming in and out, pretty much what I use that for. Now this right here, this is the scroll chart button. If I were to want to look back in the history and I start scrolling through to look back at like what happened back in like April or something. Well, if I let it hang around, eventually it's going to snap me back to the beginning of my chart, or the current price. It's not doing it right now, of course, because I'm trying to show the example. Any other time, it would have automatically snapped me back here. The way to keep it from snapping back is to hit that button, and then you can scroll back as far as you want to, and it'll let you stay there. But if I hit this button again, it's going to pop me right back into the current, where current price is. This right here, this is simply for our templates. I would just go in here and, if I wanted to change my template to the reassurance chart or change it back to our default chart, I could do that there. This arrow button just is what it is. It's a cursor. Crosshair. Sometimes I use this to kind of measure how many pips something might go. So if I want to say, all right, well, how many pips is it from here to here? Then I could take my crosshair and I can put it there, click and hold it, and just start dragging it down. And that number in the middle, right there, like right now it says 1992. That's 199.2 pips. Keep in mind, just knock that last number off. So like right now it's 33.9. That's 33.9 pips. So that's technically just basically 33 pips, or now it's 36 pips. Now it's 53 pips. Basically just keep in mind that last number, just forget it. But that's really all I do for the crosshair. This right here, I use it in example sometimes. I never use this in my live trading, but it's just a vertical line button. And also, if you want to get some of this stuff off your chart, sometimes you can do it one of two ways. You can either double click whatever you just put on there, and then right click it and delete it, or you can just refresh your chart and it'll take it off for you. Now the horizontal line I use all the time. I use this to recognize breaks in price structure, which we'll get into more in different videos, but just know that the horizontal line is definitely something that you'll be using pretty often. Like right here, I see price came down and the candle bodies kind of stopped here. Here's another one where the candle body stopped here, the candle body stopped here, and then so the candle bodies are not passing through this line, or passing through this area in price, but then all of a sudden, boom, we got this candle that actually broke through it completely and closed through it. So that's really how I use the horizontal line, is to recognize closes in price, or breaks in structure. This right here, the diagonal line, something again I really don't use too much. I use it every now and then. When you first use it, I would actually recommend double clicking it, go into trend line properties, and go into parameters and turning off that ray. And that gives you more control over how long you want the line and all that stuff. It just gives you more control. So I'm gonna get that off of there for right now. Let's see what else. This right here, this is Fibonacci. I barely use Fibonacci. I kind of can get that off the chart, but I do recommend you leave it on yours just in case it's something that you want to learn, because a lot of people do like to learn the Fibonacci and how it works. It's just not something that I really use, but every blue moon I'll pull it up. And if I do, then I'll show you why, but it's probably not going to be in none of my trainings. This right here, the text button, I use somewhat often to let me know if there's something, like if there's a strategy that I see, or if there's a setup or a pattern that I see that I like, that I think might turn into something specific, then I'll use that text button, which I like my text to be yellow. So I'm going to change that to yellow, and probably blow it up to maybe a 14 or a 16. But this text, I can just, say, we'll just say blah, blah, blah. And that right there, once I hit OK, it'll show up blah, blah, blah. What I actually use this for, though, is, like I said, if I see a certain pattern that I feel like is going to pop up, then I might be like, oh, this might turn into a such and such pattern. And so I'll write the name of the pattern down somewhere on the chart, so that when if I'm looking around at different currency pairs, And then I might forget about that. But once I come back to it, I have that reminder there letting me know like, oh yeah, I think this one might turn into such and such. And it just helps me to remember what I was seeing on the chart. And then other than that, we have the time frames, which we've already gone over. We've already gone over this little arrow here, which talks about the, you can do your sell, your buy, and we talked about the lot size. You click off that arrow to get that to go away. This right here is going to tell you what currency pair you're looking at. You'll also see what currency pair you're looking at up here. And then also down here at the bottom, it'll be highlighted. Now, the other things on the chart that you'll want to know what they actually are. Let's talk about this white, this gold, and this purple line. Those are what's called moving averages. That's simply the average point of where price is, depending on which moving average you're looking at. This white one is a 10 moving average, meaning this is the average area of the last 10 candles. The gold one is a 50 moving average, so that's the average area of the last 50 candles. This one is the average area of the last 144 candles. And this just helps me recognize the momentum in price, so I have a better idea of if price is in the momentum of going up or down, or if momentum is about to change to going from up to now it's about to start going down. Another thing I use to help me know if price is about to potentially change its direction are these TMA centered bands. Those are my dotted lines. These two dotted lines up here and these two dotted lines down here are the TMA centered bands. And what I use those for is to help me recognize when price is potentially overbought or oversold. So the easiest way to explain this is simply notice how price, and when I say price, we're talking about the candlesticks. Notice how the candles are mostly in the middle of these bands. Every time price actually goes up into the bands, it usually starts to come back towards the middle. So basically, if it goes up inside the top bands, that lets me know price is starting to get overbought. There's too many buyers. It's probably about to change directions and start coming down. Likewise, if I scroll over some and we see somewhere where price is down inside the bottom bands, like it went inside the bands on the bottom here, and then what happened? It went away from that. It started going up. So if it's in the upper bands, I have an idea that prices eventually, it's probably going to start coming down soon. If it's in the bottom bands, its price is probably going to start going up soon. So it helps me with knowing when to buy and sell. So those are the bands, and then the blue and I guess you can call these yellowish or gray, I don't know, whatever color boxes. These just help me represent the time of day. All the blue boxes are during the main hours of New York session, basically 8 a.m. EST to about, I think it's like 8 to maybe like 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is what those represents. Now I'm actually in Central Standard Time, but I'm just because it's New York session, then I'm just using EST because New York is on Eastern Standard Time. But so every time I see this blue box, I know that that's during the main New York session hours of the day. Not the whole New York session, just the main New York session where price tends to make its main move for the day. And then these boxes right here are the Asian session boxes, which are the first part of the day, or first part of a new trading day. And the first part of a new trading day, as far as trading hours are concerned, starts at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it starts in the middle of the day, well, kind of early evening. And but this lets me know just when that happens. And the reason I like these boxes, those are not necessary by any means. The reason that I like having them though is when I start studying, if I go back and let's just say I just do some random scrolling, well, it stops eventually. I can put more boxes on there if I want to, or make them go longer. But let's say like now I'm back in May. Even though I'm back in May, I can still look at this day and know what part of the day is, versus if I just have a naked chart, like, hold on, let me do it like this. Take those off. If I don't have that on there, then when I scroll back, I don't know exactly what part of the day it is easily. I can find out, like I know how to find out, but it's just a lot easier for me to have these boxes here. And then I automatically know, okay, this is a New York session. This is about, this is somewhere between 8 and 10 o'clock in that day, that particular day. This is somewhere between 8 and 10 o'clock in this particular day. Like, it's just easy for me to keep up with that. All right, let's see what else. Oh, this stuff down at the bottom, and then we'll pretty much be done. Now this the green line and the dotted line, they essentially do the same thing for the most part. We will focus a lot more heavily on the green line than we will the dotted line. So, but just keep in mind, it's really the same thing, just different settings. The same way how I was talking about up here, we have the dotted lines, and then the the dotted lines on the bottom that help me know, if price goes into the dotted lines up here, then it's probably going to start dropping. Same thing up here. Well, this green line, when it goes up above the top line, price might start dropping soon. And then when it's down here at the bottom, price might start going up soon. So notice, like, you know what? I just realized I don't have my rectangular box that I use all the time. Let me customize this and add the rectangle box. My bad. So I'm going to take a box here and just draw this, and I'll draw another one down here. Notice when the Elis Fisher was below the bottom line here, price was right here, and then Elis Fisher started coming up out of that bottom, and price is rising right here. So it's another thing that just helps me see, or give me an idea of when price might start going back up or back down. And it also helps me recognize something that's called divergence, which we'll get into on another video. And that's really it as far as I can think of. Now, I know I just put this rectangular box on here. If this is yours, a lot of times the rectangular box won't look like this. It's probably going to be, I think it'll be blue, and it'll have this check. So yours might look like that. And if you want to change it to how mine looks, then just right click. I'm sorry, you'll have to double click somewhere in the rectangular box, and then right click it, go to rectangle properties. I put mine on the light green, and I uncheck that box. I just like my boxes to be hollow for what I use them for. But that pretty much concludes what we need to see as far as understanding what's on the chart, just knowing what everything is. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section and I will answer those. The next video, we're going to actually start getting into strategies. So knowing how to know when does price go up and down, and how we determine when to actually take a trade. So we're basically getting into the good stuff next. We're switching over from beginner mode to intermediate / expert mode at this point. So, all right, stay tuned for the next video where we get into strategies.